welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys have been enjoying our junkyard Monaro build. I've been enjoying putting these episodes together for you, been enjoying putting this car together. For our 90-day deadline, I'm going pretty good so far. I think it's looking good. At the moment, we've got the bit of a grind happening with the rust repairs and metal work, and also the cylinder head porting. This episode will be about those two things, bits and pieces that we've gone through in the last week. And yeah, apologise for the lengthy, boring part of it, which is the rust and the cylinder head porting. But once that's over, we'll be into the exciting stuff, like putting the engine together, getting the engine set up in the car, getting the suspension set up, gearbox set up, fuel system, nitrous, all the fun stuff, startups, all that fun stuff. So it'll be a little bit of a fun thing now. We've been throwing it around a little bit for names. We've had quite a few suggestions to name the car. I'm not sure if the car needs to be named, really. My ute over there, everyone's sort of nicknamed Bumpin, because that's the number plate on it. I put the Bumpin number plates on it when I was first setting up the car, once I first got it running. It was blow through carburetor with a single cast 80 ball Warner back then, and I put a bump box in it, and because I had to spool it. The thing was terrible to spool, and everyone has a bump box or creep box now. It's actually got a creep in it now, run through the Haltech. Back then it was just a bump box, the old Davies bump box, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, the big bump button and an aggressive stage. So I thought the bumping number plates were pretty fitting, because it had a set of 9010s in it back then, which I know are not good for what I was trying to do, but it made for some impressive, aggressive bumping, that's for sure.
Almost like the car's got a bump box the way it goes in.
This looks better for a cancel.
Yeah.
So as for a name for this car, the Monaro, we've been trying a few names around there. There's been some funny ones, there's been some silly ones. We've narrowed it down, we've taken a vote, we've got a name, we're going to do a name. This is it, right now is the naming ceremony. And the name is Social Distancing. It's pretty relevant at the moment, so head on over. There's a bit of silly stuff going on here. That's our Vegemite. It's a very Australian car. And so what we're going to do, can you see? We've got too much Vegemite, but anyway, I'll have to clean this off later, but there we go. Simba. That's quite funny, but hey Chevy. It's Chevy. What's a Vegemite, mate? Chevy loves Vegemite. You like Vegemite, mate? Chevy does like Vegemite. That's pretty good, buddy. So there you go. Social distancing is our name. And why? Because we're going to be gapping people. That's it. That's why we named it Social Distancing. So yeah, enjoy the video. I love the feedback. It's been lots of comments, lots of messages. I'm absolutely overwhelmed with the response. So we've got a lot of, we've got some companies and stuff wanting to get on board, but also some people just contacted us and let us know they really appreciate what we're doing, something a bit different. So yeah, enjoy, check out the video. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Thank you. Hey, if you thought rust repairs were long and tedious and boring, how about cylinder head porting? I actually don't mind it. Hang on, let me take these off. Alright, covered in shit. I don't mind cylinder head porting. It's kind of like colouring in, I guess. When you're a kid, you get into it and you think like the air. I'm not an engine builder, I'm not a cylinder head porter. So again, like everything we do on this, I'm a fabricator, suspension specialist. So these things are just things you learn along the way of being into race cars, I guess. You just improvise and do what you have to do. You take an interest in everything every aspect of what you're doing. Also, years of being a bit of a tight ass, not wanting to pay other people. You want to learn how to do it yourself, and get it done. So yeah, I'll go through my sorry, I keep going to turn that thing around because the camera's the wrong way, but I'll stop it and turn it around in a sec. I'll just go through what I'm doing here. This is for our 454 junkyard setup. So it's very basic porting. It's not going to be anything crazy at all. It's just general tidy up. And like I say, feel free to criticise or give me some pointers. Cylinder head pointing's not my thing. I've ported a few heads here and there, but nothing of any relevance really. But I sort of know the basics, and it's enough to get me by. So I'll show you what we've done here. Okay, so we've moved further along with our cylinder heads. As you can see, what I've done here is I've just done, I know it's a bit of a no-no, most people that are into this will tell you to do, let's say we do this bit here, we do the same every time over, so we get it even, but just for the purpose of showing on the video here, and because I get a bit bored, I've left one cylinder completely untouched so we can see the differences. So let's start the intake. You can see there's a big ledge on the intake, and then so we'll just go ahead and jump one by one. And you see here, I've blended the bowl. I'm not trying to finish them nice and shiny or anything like that. We're just chewing the metal out where it needs to come out of there. This is, again, it's a junkyard build, so I will finish them a bit nicer than this. I've started to down there. So you can see, if you come back here, you're quite restricted around here. That's the edge there, so it's not very wide from there to there, which is at the top of the port, around the valve guide boss. Whereas here, that's much wider through there. That's the tight side. Come up to this this one here. I'll just focus that. There you go. I've taken a lot of material out of there, and a fair bit out of there. Again, across all these intakes to get that flow in through there. Same again here. Blended the back on each one. The exhaust, you can see it's quite restrictive around that valve guide boss, quite thick and chunky. And then we move across to the exhaust. I'll just try and focus a little bit better. Big, it's hard, you can't actually see it. There's a big step in the pocket, which we've blended at the back of the bowl there. All the exhausts are pretty. This one I've taken a little bit more time with, so I've got to finish the rest of that. Something that you're never going to get perspective on the camera. You can actually see a little bit there, because you can see on the short turn there, and then you can see on that short turn it's more open. So obviously short turn, don't try and radius it too tight, just keep it as smooth and long as possible. Now the chamber, you can see, I'll use my finger instead of the pointer, that actually dips down in and around. There's a big pocket under there. So what I've done is I've taken that pocket back to vertical, smooth that, taken all of that top of that section off there. See, there's a pocket, so that there's no more pocket. And just to unshroud that exhaust valve as much as we can on each one. And I've done the intake as well, but they didn't really need a lot. I've just taken a bit out of there on each one to open up the flow around the intake valve as well. And then here, we'll need the pointer again. Just taking these these oval port heads, still a lot more to come out yet. I'll probably do a bit more, taking out this material as much as we can. Back of the bowl there's all nice and smooth. Same again, much as we can get out. Don't really touch the bottom of the port. Widen out around here. There's quite a lot of material taken out of here. So come back to as you can see there, that's the untouched one. You can see how much material is in the corner there. And you can see how it casts a shadow there. So we've taken a lot out of there and a fair bit out of there and a lot out of this inside here, just to try and get as much volume as we can in that respect. So that's where we're at. Just got to finish that last cylinder and then tackle the other head. This is long, tedious part of it. They're not race ports or anything like that. This is just a general tidy up to free up these heads as best we can without putting too much time into them. They're not great heads, but hopefully they get the job done. This is a junkyard build at the end of the day. It would be nice just to slap a set of alloy heads on there and be done with it. But when you don't have the budget, you don't have the budget. So this is what we're trying to do here, is a budget build. Quick tech tip time. So we're going to put this rust repair panel in here. The old one was cactus. Now in these cars, or most cars, but here I know that there's a lead seam. I saw it when I was cutting it out. You can see different colour sparks come off the grinder. So it usually indicates that there's a bit of lead around there. So that's pretty much where the factory joint would be, which is leaded over. You can't weld it, you can't work with it. It's terrible stuff. So I'm going to show you my way, an easy way to get it out. Luckily under here is pretty good. The car's pretty good there. In the corners here there's been rust. I've cut that out. I'm going to put some pieces in there as well. But I'm going to show you how I get the lead out and get it really clean to weld. There you go, you can just see it starting to go soft. Look, it's running too soft there. Get that? Like the Terminator. A little bit too soft, it's on already. Just get it corner as well. Quick update on our rear lower rust panel around the windscreen. There's the old panel that we took out. Cactus. So yeah, everything's in now. Welded along here. That's where we took the lead out. Fixed up this here. It's a little bit messy. And then I've just got to weld the spot welds along here to the underside. Yeah, I had actually bought a lower piece here, but the fit up was terrible. So I've had to make another one, which I'm really happy with. It looks good, fits in. So we haven't done so much detail on this. We're just rushing through. You don't want to see too much rust repair stuff. You've seen one panel, you've seen them all. Now I've just got the spot weld under here, the bottom piece of the parcel tray up to the top. We've got an earlier bit where we tightened up that radius there, so it's made for a nicer boot gap. So there you go, it's all in, looking good. Finish off some welding and tackle these corners. So we made an executive decision on our junkyard big block. The bearings are really good. It doesn't look like it's done much work at all. So to save time and money, which we're going to regret if we spin a bearing, everyone's going to laugh at us. But we're just going to clean up the main bearings and give them a bit of lube, pop them back in. Have a look at them while they're out, obviously. So here we go. We're going to try and cut things down. A few people mentioned that it was a bit boring watching us pull all of the heads off. So we're just going to run through and just do one cut, and obviously you know what the other four look like. So here we go. Marvin's on the spanners again. Here you go, Marvin. How do you feel to be working on such a elite level race motor, Marvin?
I feel privileged.
Privileged.
You can take that any way you want.
How much power is it going to make, Marvin? That's the question everyone's asking.
Never enough.
Never enough.
That's always the answer.
How fast is it going to go is the other question I keep getting asked. All will be revealed.
That's the same answer.
See the beautiful girl out there. Look at it. Isn't it a thing of beauty?
Especially through a hazy window.
Through a hazy, dirty window. Pull this cap off. As you guys can see it in the camera there, the bearings are really good, so certainly not, I don't know, you should always replace bearings, they're only cheap, but yeah, when they're that new,
Actually,
that
looks pretty
little
good,
marking is okay.
yeah.
Just a bit of
There's
shit
a
through
bit,
the oil.
bit of
so-
dirt from lack of proper clean, hygienic cleaning.
Bit of a mark where it's been sitting.
I'm just going to get this oil out of this thread.
Do you reckon it's moisture that's on it?
Yeah, possibly could be actually.
You can't actually feel it.
No, you won't. That'll be fine. Your fingernail test.
Yeah, you can see where that bit of shit's gone.
Let me, I was going
You
to.
can't really feel it
I'm going to
though.
have to get these cleaned out before I put the bolts back in. So
Yep, so tell them what you were saying about the oil in the galleries, in the bolt holes there, Melvin.
yeah, if you don't clean it out, it'll hydrolock and crack the block sometimes. So good idea to clean those out.
A little bit of trap for young players there. So he's just saying that try to do the bolt up because the torque settings on his main caps is at 110, so obviously that's pretty tight. There's a bit of oil in there and the thing can't seat all the way home. You see, it's a lot of pressure to let out. Those of you who have bolted two bolts and into one nut with a heap of match heads in between will know. There's a bit of compression to be had.
I thought that was just me that done that.
We do like blowing stuff up.
That brings back memories,
Marvin's a modular man normally. Chevys aren't normally his thing.
Or usually a Ford man anyway.
Ford man.
Usually, but
You're the fastest, back in the day we had the fastest radial tyre car for a while.
back in the
BF
noughties.
Goodrich Chase.
Back in the noughties.
And did you ever have the fastest modular?
Yeah, on radials, yeah.
Fastest modular on radials
For,
over in
for a
America?
long time actually.
Yeah.
So
And you've been fastest 235 car in Australia
up until this year.
for a short space of time. Oh, for a little while.
Yeah, for a while.
For Ash Mason, I think, took that record off you, and now it's gone to the, forgot his name, the White BL from down south. So, yeah, you're looking forward to the competition this year, Marvin?
Yeah, if we didn't break, would have been a different story, but you always hear of that if it didn't break trick.
That's because you talked about that,
Running
that
60s
8.8 not being enough for how long?
Yeah.
You jinxed yourself.
Pushed my luck one too many. Especially for it to break 100 foot out.
So it looks good?
Where's my goop?
Good. Oh, we're going to put some cement. Do you want to push the other shell out, Marvin? The bottom shell?
No.
No?
This little bit will actually transfer itself over to it. And
Oh, you
most
don't
of
want to
your
push it out and
load-
have a look at it?
No. Because most of your load is this one anyway.
Just throwing some assembly lube in there. Bolt holes are dry.
Not upsetting things too much.
The junkyard bearings are going back in it. Hopefully that's not
They're pretty good for junkyard bearings.
a bad thing. Sometimes you just got to take a bit of a risk. And there you go. And that'll silence the people that think that we secretly put lots of fancy stuff in it if we do go fast. You can see. There's a Chevy dog. making a racket. There you go. Just going to torque that cup up. You will see what that looks like. Rub it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed episode 4, I think we are. Stay tuned for next week. Looking forward to bringing it to you. Like and subscribe.